Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Today is June the 20th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and things that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, we did have some relatively negative data just come out. So manufacturing index came in at -4. Forecast was 1. The rest of the data as well, not necessarily the best. Employment, new orders. And so this did cause a little bit of a pullback, but it is starting to continue to push higher because I'm sure greater minds are starting to realize that that negative data does possibly justify a little bit sooner of a rate cut. Again, maybe that's how the market's seeing it as, but nonetheless, market seems to be full on FOMO today because Trump did state that they're going to be delaying the strike against Iran. So that's very good. Market loves that. Dow is up 1.09%, S&P up 1.1%, and NASDAQ up 1.3%. So aside from everything I just mentioned, you also do have the S&P breaking above that 6,000 pivot. So 6,000 has been a very big psychological barrier for the S&P in the past. So the fact that it is above it, and if it's able to close above, that does mean that you are going to see a full-on push higher. That's going to be leading into probably the next couple weeks. So that does mean higher highs. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from all that fun stuff, you do have the fear and greed index under the neutral category. I think that this is just completely broken because a lot of the stocks I'm going to be talking on are very speculative in nature, and I do feel that we will be most likely under the greed, or we should be under the greed, probably in the middle kind of ground right there. But nonetheless, getting right to it, SoFi is a 1.1% piggybacking off the market. No fireside chats, no news planned for today. 12.98% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 140.9 million shares overall being shorted. As I brought up in my pre-market or previous SoFi videos, SoFi does have a key level to watch for when it comes down to options. So this is a NEO, so you guys don't need to see this, but pulling up SoFi and looking at the open interest, you have 59,000 at that 15, 18,000 at 1450, 20,000 at that 14, and then 28,000 at that 1550. And I guess arguably you can bring up as well 53,000 at that 16. So this, ladies and gentlemen, could result in a very nice gamma squeeze, really pushing SoFi higher. So if it does continue this good momentum, and let's say does outperform the broader market once again, gets close to that 16, then things could get very interesting. But at the same time, shorts will be watching these key levels, and by the second half of today, you'll see them most likely increasing, trying to suppress it, in my opinion. But aside from all of that, with that 1558 pre-market is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 1516 is going to be that key pivot for today. And essentially, the next level is going to be 1690. So as I mentioned, you could see that $17 range coming very, very soon. Moving on, so Wheeler, ticker is WHLR. It is up 115%. No news, no SEC filings, no articles, speculative plays, or anything like that. When it comes down to shorts, 10.74% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 51,000 shares. So this does fit the criteria that the market likes to squeeze. So you might have some people talking about that. So just keep that in mind. But right now with that 734, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 595 is going to be a strong support. 825 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, followed by 967. In my opinion, I would stay day trading this. Don't think that this is going to be like, hey, this is going to get back to the kind of crazy highs it was once at. Of course, it's having all of this because of reverse stock split, but the reason why this is down 99.97% is because it has a lot of convertible debt products, tons. So essentially, today's push higher is dilution. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. You can still make money off of day trading it, but be very cautious in holding this because I think that this is going to be RIP very soon. So again, do your own due diligence. You can always make money on anything. And one very popular stock that's kind of been the hot topic for the last week is Oscar Health. A lot of people comparing it to HIMSS and just saying it's going to go up to that same fashion, but it is up 13.16%. No news, no SEC filings, just merely hype. And nothing really wrong with that, but 11.8% of the free floats being shorted works to be 24.36 million shares overall being shorted. So shorts have really doubled down and tried to suppress the hype. So May the 21st up until recently, shorts have just been increasing every single day. So anticipate today to be the same thing, that shorts are going to increase to try to suppress it. But with that 21 and change, it is trading right now between this R2 and this R1. So 21.30 is going to be a strong support, which looks like it's below that momentarily right now. And then 25 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And then 15 being the strong support. So I think today is going to be a pretty big day for it, most likely closing right below this R2, but I could be wrong. Moving on, you have New Horizon, ticker HOVR. This one is up 11.4%. Interestingly enough, I actually just listened to a fireside chat about this company, and it does seem very interesting. So if you're interested in listening to that fireside chat, I can link it in the description below that for you to listen to. It's 30 minutes, so do it on your own time and leisure whenever you have spare minute. But very interesting business. As far as today, no news, no SEC filing, so it is just part of that whole momentum, that whole hype right now. Right now, for shorts, 3.49% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 567,000 shares. So shorts haven't really been doing all of that much. So it goes to show that this recent hype, it's not being suppressed. So coming from a short standpoint, they do feel clearly that it is somewhat justified. Right now with a 253 though, it is right below this R2, so 256 is going to be a key pivot, followed by 310 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So kind of just take note of that. And then last but not least, Jeff Brands. So this one is up 17.01% because of this news right here. So Jeff Brands and Impact Acquisitions receive approval from the TSX Venture for Fort Products merger at a valuation of up to roughly 15 million. So pretty good stuff. I don't really know much about the business behind the scenes and why this is a big deal, but nonetheless, on Wednesday and as well today, you seem to be having some pretty good momentum. So nothing really wrong with that. As far as this, with that 770, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 686 is going to be a strong support. 907 is going to be the next strong target, followed by 1043 and 1264. So in my opinion, I think it will be able to get close to this R1 today. So 907, so that's going to be a pretty big return. And then dependent on how things are at the time, it could break above it, but I feel like it will stay below it for today. But nonetheless, you have a lot of good big money is definitely getting into stocks today. That's kind of the moral of the story. And risk is on. I kind of find it very funny how the market is. Literally the beginning of this week, every analyst was like, no, risk is off. Market is just punishing speculative plays. Well, within the same week, now we have the opposite happening. So definitely good time to invest. In my opinion, you do whatever the hell floats your boat. Let me know your viewpoint. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals every single day on stocks, options, crypto. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.